Well, hello there. Welcome to Relationship Coaching Live. Today's topic is finding joy in the unexpected. We will laugh, we will learn, and we'll lean into life's beautiful curveballs. Because doesn't it throw us some curveballs every now and then? And today's guest, I'm so happy that she's here. She's a powerhouse of healing, heart, and hard-earned wisdom. She's not just a coach. She's a life whisperer. So, honey, grab your tea and your journal because we're about to go deep, real, and joyfully unexpected with none other than Rebeccah Silence. Rebeccah is a nationally recognized emotional healing and relationship coach, cancer survivor, speaker, and the creator of the Healing is Possible movement. After overcoming stage 3 cancer while pregnant, and choosing joy during the fight. She turned her life's challenges into purpose. She's been featured on ABC, Fox, USA Today, and more. She's also the author of Coming Back to Life, host of the Tougher Together Breakthrough podcast, and the founder of Inspired Results. Let's give her a virtual standing ovation. Please welcome to the stage the beautiful Rebeccah Silence. Hi, Rebeccah.
Well, hello. I'm so excited to be here, and we are going to make sure joy is accessible by the end of this show for you.
I love that. I love that. So tell us a little bit about your journey first with cancer, just a little bit so we get an idea of where you're coming from and how we all learn after cancer how to find even more joy. If we were joyful before, and now it's like we learned how to find it through the worst time of our life, because it is really, truly the worst time of our life. And I'm laughing because, I don't want to cry. But anyway.
I'm the emotional healing expert, so we might cry, and that's all right. But yeah,
it's all good, right?
It absolutely. Let the tears flow, because when you do, eventually they become tears of joy.
That is true. That is true. My mom and I used to fight, and then all of a sudden, it would be so ridiculous, the fighting, that we would just burst out laughing.
Right. Because there's tears that are victim-y tears
for
me. Then there's grieving tears. Then there's tears of joy. But we'll get to that. And what I'll say about cancer is there's zero chance in hell that I would be a relationship expert without it. I had been already a trained therapist. I'd already had a private practice as a coach and was thriving. But when cancer happened, I met me.
I love that. So this segment, I call it The Day is Dawn, Embracing the Unexpected. Okay. So let's start with, what does your morning routine look like? How do you infuse joy into it, even on tough days, which we all do have those days?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is my bedroom is sacred. And so I'm waking up with a view of the mountains, and in my room with this giant bird of paradise, my gorgeous husband next to me. The room is immaculate and exactly how I want it. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to get your bedroom sacred and feeling like this hug, even like a hug from God. I lay in bed for about an hour just praying and meditating and talking to God, and literally just going into this zone that's spiritual. Every morning I start for about an hour, just me, just in the space, just connected to God and my highest self. And then I don't drink coffee, and I intermittent fast. So I'm only putting water into my system. I move, and I laugh with my husband and my kid. I do Brendan Burchard's high performance planner to get my shit together and to get organized. And then the day begins.
I love that. It's so important in the morning when you first wake up to ground yourself. For me, I don't have a husband. I wake up next to my pillow, but that's okay. It's a cute pillow. And, I wake up and I start my day with being grateful. It's so important to be grateful, especially after you've gone through the cancer healing journey. We're grateful to be alive, really. whenever I start being stressed, I'm like, oh, I'm alive. Hello. That's why I'm stressing about stuff. Do you have that too? Like you're
Oh,
stressing and then you're like, yeah, I'm alive.
and here's how I combat that with gratitude for sure, and also intention,
Yeah.
right? So we're not intentional until we need to be, in my experience. And I think you can just decide that you're going to plug into your spiritual GPS who you are going to be and what you're creating, and don't leave out how you want to feel. And if you don't even know, just plug in joy,
Yeah.
right? I am someone who is committed to joy. I know who I am and where I'm taking my life. You can, in the moments where stress and worry are creeping in and have a chokehold on you, just go back to intention.
Absolutely. I call it agenda. you know, it's like,
Yes.
what's my agenda? Is it to be miserable all day? I don't want to be up and I have to do this. Or is it like, you know what? I'm going to turn all of that into yay.
And
So
it's a commitment.
yeah,
It's an
yeah,
agenda, but it's really a commitment.
it
Because
is.
suffering, just going to tell you this, it's a commitment.
Yeah, a
And you
hundred
can
percent.
shift it, and it's human and it's natural, and nobody's immune. And I don't know how to make suffering go away completely, but what I know is when I'm suffering, I wasn't intentional and I wasn't committed to living my life on my terms. And a huge part of joy is you took your life back, you took yourself back and your power back, and you claimed that joy is the rule you live by because you've been through enough already.
Absolutely. Yes, 100%. Have you ever had a day like that started really chaotic and crazy and then you turned it into like the best day ever?
Oh my gosh, all the time.
Time.
Yesterday, we woke up to my almost 16-year-old Chihuahua Italian Greyhound mix, poop everywhere, in between her fingernails, all in the crate. She has kidney failure and she's at the end. And that was the beginning, right? Cleaning up the dog poop. Then you got to get the kid ready for theater practice. She's currently Maid Marian in Robin Hood. So we're like cleaning dog poop, getting lunches together, getting the kid out the door that stayed up too late with her friend the night before. Yesterday is a perfect example, literally. And we were able to just be light, divide, and conquer, and be human through it all. And I ended up having a very jam packed, incredibly powerful day yesterday, right? Because it isn't the circumstance that dictates who you are or how you feel or how your day goes. It's your commitment and your intention.
Absolutely. And sometimes, this is what I do. Like whenever I had this weekend, actually, I had a little bit of anxiety because of the situation in the US.
Uh
And
huh.
yes, and
Yes.
a lot, and I'm a Latina, so, and I'm legal, everybody. No, I mean, it's not legal, it's documented. Legal, nobody's legal in this land, period. But anyway, moving on. So I had an anxiety attack. I was teaching swimming, which I do, and I had to get out of the pool that I never in my life had to get out of the pool, ever. Years and years of teaching. So I got sick when I got home and everything. And I was like, I don't like to be like this. So that's more dramatic, right? Than waking up to maybe some inconveniences. So seek help first. That's my MO. So I called my therapist. Two,
Mm.
I switched that fear into excitement for the plans that I have about taking care of myself in regards to the situation that I fear.
And
So,
it sounds like you processed the emotion too.
yes.
Not stuff it down, not ignore
No.
it, not
Yes.
reject it. And that is everything. You got to meet yourself where you are, especially emotionally, and get that connection going with something or someone outside of you. That's beautiful. And panic is just an indicator that you have needs that aren't being met. So it's time to honor that. And nothing's
Yes.
more important.
Yes, absolutely. But before I probably would have just gone into like a spiral of anxiety because I do
Yeah.
suffer from anxiety when there's situations that are, critical or just that I feel they're completely out of my control. Then yes, I do spiral a little bit. But yeah, you learn how to take care even when you're spiraling. I think it's changing the perspective also. I changed it from doom to excitement and hope because I'm like, I'm going to take charge and I'm going to do this I'm not going to say what it is, but I was like, I'm going to change my plans so I can take care of myself and
Yeah.
not be in this anxiety mode, spiraling to the point where I can't even control it, right? So when you look at your to-do list in the morning, after you meditate and have fun and all of that, how do you make space for magic or spontaneity?
Oh, I love this question. And then I want to speak to anxiety mode because I like that you called it that, because anxiety isn't who we are. But magic, I mean, I think the number one thing is expecting to be delighted and surprised.
Mm.
I'm literally every single day, okay, God, I expect to be delighted and surprised. What do you got for me today?
I
Because
love
there,
that.
right, like seriously, because I know you use the word agenda, which is so great. I have my agenda, I have my intention, I have my commitment, but I don't know how it's going to go. And I know there will be expected, but there's going to be a shitload of unexpected as well. So I
Yes.
look at it expecting to be delighted and surprised. And this also happened yesterday, something goes sideways with a contractor. Instead of see more disappointment, that's what I expect. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, we're going to get closer on the other side of this. And imagine this, a relationship coaching hack is on the other side of any conflict, any tension, any anxiety. You can get closer to yourself and other people. Expect that and expect to be delighted and surprised, and don't give up before the miracle. It's so easy to give up before the miracle. And
Yes.
I'm going to just tell you, anxiety is another panic, anxiety. It's another indication that you have to honor and respect and take care of you and not self abandon. There is no anxiety without self abandonment or a part of your brain that's gearing up to have to self sacrifice or to have to self abandon. And it sounds like you, Grace, yesterday caught, wait, I'm not going to do that. Right.
Mhm.
And that's how you pivot. But anxiety isn't who we are, it's how we're coping. And it's
Yes.
learned and it's real as hell, but
Yes.
it's not who we are.
It's not. No. And I felt you almost feel, you feel a little dizzy and the panic starts setting in, right? And I call it, and I had this a lot from my PTSD, medical PTSD after the treatment. I felt like I was in the matrix, like
Yeah.
everything was almost like I was out of my body watching a movie. That's not my natural state. That's not normal. That's just the fear. It's almost like your soul wants to leave your body.
Yeah, or it's the opposite. Because
Oh,
for some people, it's leaving their head and their anxiety and their stress and getting back in their body.
oh,
Right. So there is both. Like I'm going out of body, but there's also sometimes you're actually coming back in.
ooh,
And don't let that scare you. That's good news.
oh yeah, because you feel it too.
Yeah.
Like I
I
feel it.
write in Coming Back to Life, my award winning best-selling book, a whole chapter on body. And I think no matter what you've been through, because the truth of the matter is nobody is immune to trauma.
Nobody.
Nobody.
No, 100%.
So you've been through it. My definition of trauma is heartbreak. And your body really does keep the score. There's a book about that too. But letting yourself be in your body when fear's taking over and wanting you to believe that your only choice is to survive the moment versus living and leading the moment, you got to be in your body to be healed. And sometimes we don't even recognize we're trying to get back in our body, and that's the safest choice. And
Mhm.
that's a correct choice, and it's a healthy choice. Sometimes it's easier, especially when everything feels chaotic and out of control and bigger than us, to be out of body. Just pay attention. Am I going back in my body? Am I leaving my body? Always make that intention and commitment to get back in your body.
I love that. Yes, and I totally understand because that matrix feeling like you're floating. It's a weird, weird feeling. I hate
Totally
it.
is.
I hate it
Totally.
because it's almost like I'm going to pass out. Like I feel like I'm going to pass out, even though I don't. So yeah, I love that you say come back into your body. And Yes. And I never thought about it, but that's exactly what I do. It's like I ground myself, I breathe. I'm like, I am safe, I am loved,
Yeah.
I am taken care of. I start talking to myself and then look around. This is another technique that they taught me. You look for a color, like how many green things do I have in here? The plant, and you look at it and you name them, and that brings you back into reality, so to speak, right? Into your body. Because I feel it's
Hmm.
almost like you're away from this reality, floating into like observing the reality. Does that make sense?
Yeah, oh, it totally does. And
Yeah.
another hack is to find a place. I just had a client I was working with a couple days ago on this, and we decided her third eye. So she
Oh,
just is
yes.
touching her third
I
eye
do this
to
all the
get
time.
right.
All the
Find a
time.
touchstone because
Yep.
in intimacy and in relationships, right, we want joy to be the rule for you,
Yes.
but intimacy is terrifying for a lot of people.
Yes.
Emotional intimacy is scary. We
Yeah.
associate it with more heartbreak. So I'm just
Absolutely.
going to tell the truth about that, right? So, this technique of finding a place, whether you're touching your heart, you're giving yourself a hug, touching your third eye, even just touching your cheek,
Yes.
whatever it is for you, pinching your fingers together, folding your hands, it can be a great way to stay in your body when it's getting really good
Yes.
intimately,
Yes.
when you're terrified, because intimacy is starting to feel like it's going sideways and you think you might lose someone. Stay in your body and literally touch your body or reach out and touch someone else because
That too.
intimacy is scary, but it's worth it. And it's what
Yes.
we want more than anything.
I love that. Before we go into the next segment, did you know that I started a line of merch called Joy is My Jam?
I didn't, but I want some.
Oh, the stateofgraceshop.com.
All right, I'm hacking myself up.
You can get it there. Absolutely.
Christmas in July.
So I have a little video so people can get familiar with Joy is My Jam. All
Get it.
right. Every moment is a chance to inspire, uplift, and thrive. What better way to start your day than with a mug that's more than just a mug? It's your muse. Sip your coffee, tea, or hot cocoa while sipping on some self love with positive affirmations mugs for you. Your hat isn't just an accessory, it's your daily reminder to shine bright and vibe high. With our positive affirmations headwear for you, every step you take spreads love, joy, and confidence. From self love is your superpower to dream big and create your own story, our mugs and headwear remind you to keep thriving one positive affirmation at a time. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So let your mug and your muse inspire the world. Positive affirmations, mugs, and headwear for you. Start your journey of positivity today because you're worth it. Always. All right. So actually, that was my positive affirmations. I thought that was the joy is my jam, but I have a joy is my jam here. Like I have
So
these
much
great.
goodness, Grace.
Yeah, no, I know. It's just, when you do everything yourself.
I do. I run 3 companies.
Yes.
I know. Yes.
Yes. So, but anyway, it applies to the topic today. So, get your mug, get your headwear, you guys. Go to the stateofgraceshop.com. There's so much merch there that is positive, uplifting, and fun. So, all right. So let's go to segment 2 because I divide it by segments.
Yeah.
I'm very organized. So this one I call From Tasks to Thrills, Navigating the Day. So what is a typical day like in your world, or is there no such thing?
That's an interesting question. I think every day when I say I expect to be delighted and surprised, I mean it. I don't feel like there's Groundhog Day ever. Every day is unique and amazing and miraculous. And every week for me literally feels like a lifetime has gone by because so much happens, right? But I think overall, the structure of the day is I'm beginning with taking care of me, then I'm spending the day taking care of others, then I'm ending the day taking care of me and being with my family. And that is consistent. My family has dinner together every single night. We have quality time every single night. My
Right.
husband and I both travel, so we're not always at home together, but whoever's home with our daughter, we're together in the evenings. So there's a mix, right, of me being taking care of others, letting people take care of me too, family at the end of the night. And I think that combo looks different on a daily basis, but that structure is there.
Absolutely. I think structure is very important. But allow a little bit of play. But structure, to me, it feels me like there's at least one part of my life I've had control over, and a healthy control, not like I control my life. It's like, okay, I have control over my choices, what I can do today, and how I structure my day. Have you ever had a spontaneous collaboration that completely like shifted your direction?
A spontaneous collaboration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm in talks with an incredible organization. I can't give details yet, but I think part of living in joy is being open to possibilities when they come to you and being ready to run with them and not waiting or thinking you don't have enough time. I just had an opportunity show up just 2 weeks ago that pretty guaranteed is going to change my life in the course of my family's life. And I would have never seen it coming, but I'm available, and I'm asking every day for God to show me where you want me, and who would you have me serve, and what would you have me do. And I had my husband say to me when this opportunity came up, how do you have time for more right now, babe? And I was like, well, this opportunity is not an opportunity to say no to because I don't have
Right.
time. Like, and
Right.
I think after you've been through cancer or a really hard trauma or crisis moment, you start to assess what matters.
Oh
And
my God. Yes.
right, I
Yes.
just want people to know you always have enough time for what matters, and you
Yes.
get to give yourself permission to assess and reassess how you're spending your time. And that's what you have control over, where your energy is going, what you're agreeing to, what you're choosing, and what you're putting your time into. And with emotional healing, I created and teach the practice of emotional healing. And emotional healing really is what saved my life when I was given only a 5% chance to live with a cancer diagnosis when I was pregnant. And the last step of emotional healing is time. And when you're an emotionally clear channel, you're not all clogged up and funky. You
Yes.
got time, baby. You got all the
Yes.
time in the world.
Girl. Yes. 100%. And also nutrition, believe it or not. That's
Oh,
very
God, yeah.
important. Yeah, I became whole foods, plant-based by choice because I was hormone positive. Uh, the cancer I had was hormone positive, 99% for estrogen, which, wow. So I decided to cut out all animal products because they do have hormones, and also the fear of the animal when it's being killed, all those hormones and the spiritual part of the fear. I feel like we eat that and it's not healthy for me, at least. I don't want to eat that. And I feel like after I hate to say the word vegan because it has connotations of like being the crazy one, you're that girl, whole foods, plant based, basically. I feel like my vessel is clearer. My third eye is clearer. um the fear is not as intense as it used to be. Like I can conquer the fear easier now. And I'm also celibate, which I don't want any energy from humans who are not healed, because when you date someone you don't know if they can present themselves as something, right, or and there's something else. And so by keeping yourself clean, those are my two choices. It can be another way to keep yourself like a clean vessel. I think that you can manage the fear way better.
Well, and I think it's a skill set to
Yeah,
know what is right for you
for
because
you,
there's not a
exactly.
right or a wrong way to live. I
Not
quit
at all.
chemo, it kept me alive. I would never recommend that anyone else quit chemo, but that was part of my healing journey,
Yes,
right?
a
And
hundred.
I think we get to choose. And the other skill set that I think is really important is you can start to pay attention to, is it your fear or is it somebody else's?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because what Grace is talking about, that's such an important point, is part of staying clear and the highest, healthiest, most healed version of you is making sure you're processing your fear and you're not absorbing somebody else's. And what I will say is the more healed you are emotionally, the more you attract healed, right? So you don't have to be afraid of partnership because of
That is,
somebody else's fear. But
thank
the
you for
more
saying
healed
that.
you
Yes.
are, the
Yes.
more likely you attract a healed partner. But
Yes.
then relationship brings up a whole other can of worms. So your
Yes.
job is to both separately stay. I actually have two glasses here. You both got to stay clear,
I
right?
know.
And pay attention to, is
Yeah.
this my fear right now or theirs?
Yes.
Right? Because it's very easy to feel, and if you're here, you're probably empathic. So pay attention to, is it mine? Is it theirs? Then go back into your body and take care of yourself. But you know what's right and best for you. And
Absolutely.
you
Yes.
don't have to absorb or agree to anything that's a no for you. And I love that Grace is modeling, and I'm modeling it for you too. We
Yes.
know ourselves. We
Yes.
love ourselves. We
Yes.
trust ourselves. And it doesn't have to take extreme crisis for you to get there. It's a decision.
100%. That's why people like, I don't push my philosophy or what works for me on anybody. When people are like pushing veganism, I had a friend that was pushing it when I wasn't vegan, and it's like that's not the way it works. It's not for me at that moment. It wasn't for me. So I can just tell you what I do, but for you it might look something another
For
way.
me, it's bone broth every single day and
There you
intermittent
go. There
fasting
you
and
go.
organic, healthy, whole foods, right? But figure out what it is for you.
Yes.
That's what we're inviting you to do right now.
Exactly. Absolutely. It looks different for everybody. So, okay, so let's go to, because I know you only have an hour, right? So let's go to the next segment that I call Behind the Scenes Unveiling the Creative Process. Okay. How do you handle self-doubt during your creative or coaching process?
Okay, I have got something good for you here. And this is great for relationships because what I'm about to teach you are the 4 stages of relationships, also the 4 stages of commitment,
Mhm.
and self doubt is a huge part. So I
Mm,
teach that every relationship, including your relationship to creativity, right? What
right.
you're creating, it starts with fresh love. So it's exciting in the beginning. And if you're
Yes.
ever saying yes to something that isn't exciting, that means you're saying yes when you mean no.
Yeah.
So check yourself.
Yeah.
Say yes to what's a yes, and it will start with this experience of fresh love. But then immediately you're going to get disillusioned. That is not normalized enough. So I started out really believing in this, really wanting it, really agreeing with myself to create this thing. But then I'm going to go, what was I thinking? And so when that happens for me, self doubt strikes, disillusionment strikes, panic strikes. I'm like, wait a minute, what was I thinking? I
Yeah.
go, okay, I am foundationally getting more sound and solid in my commitment. I don't get to skip this part. So when I
Mhm.
doubt, I just created a new company this fall, The Unsilent Woman. I have a membership, the Own Your Voice Society. I couldn't have been more excited about it. I am the Unsilent Woman. It's my last name. I had missed my women's work doing all of this generational trauma healing for leaders and couples and families, and I wanted to do both.
Yeah.
So excited. Then I'm like, what was I thinking? I don't know tech. I don't know how to like scale an online membership. I've not done this before. I don't know if I can do it. And I'm like, oh yeah, oh yeah. All you do in that moment is you get committed again. You just recommit. And it's not
Uh,
easy, but it is that simple, right? I don't go, oh, this is a sign that I shouldn't do this. I'm like, oh, this is an indication I'm right on track, baby. Then the third stage is power and control, where you go into fight, flight, freeze. your nervous system dysregulates, and you
Yes.
want to quit and find fresh love somewhere else. We want to go back to fresh love. That's why people have affairs. That's why people abuse substances.
Yes.
That's why people jump around and just start projects and don't finish them, right? So that fight, flight, freeze survival mode happens in power and control. And that's where you get to process through your human emotions of anger, fear, grief, joy, and excitement, and ask yourself, what does the healed me need right now? There's fight, flight, freeze, and then there's the healed you. Almost no one meets the healed them. That's why joy isn't their life. You have to
Right.
design the healed you. You're
Yes.
not going to wake up one day and know who that is. Everything other than anger, fear, grief, joy, and excitement, that's just feelings about what's going on and how you learned to cope.
Oh.
Anger, fear, grief, joy, and excitement
And
are healthy, naturally occurring emotions. So, in yourself, you're going to go through fresh love, disillusionment, power, and control. The fourth stage is reinvention once you beat power and control. Okay.
I love
Okay.
that.
I'm giving this to you fast, but then in your relationships, both of you go through this and you get to reinvent together. And so I don't
Oh, I
want
love
us
that.
afraid of self doubt.
Yes.
It's part of the process, and just
Yes.
stay in the game. I
Yes.
say all the time, it's okay to want to quit, just don't.
Right. And it's okay
Not until
because
you're reinvented.
absolutely that means that you're like evaluating your decision or a situation. So
Yeah.
it's good self-doubt, instead of calling it a negative thing like, oh, should I, it's like, no, it's good. Okay, should I do this or not? Really? Like, seek help.
It
Maybe
just
get
means
some.
you care,
Exactly, exactly,
right?
exactly.
So don't cave on yourself. Stay
Absolutely.
committed and turn up the volume on, all right, I'm going for it. Double down
Yeah.
and go farther than you think you can.
I love it. Before we continue, I would love for you to tell us the book that you have available, the books that you have available, the programs. Just give us a little
Yeah. Coming back
lowdown.
to life, a roadmap to heal from pain to create the life you want. You can get it anywhere and everywhere books are sold and at RebeccahSilence.com. This book, we don't get taught, right, how to navigate trauma in an empowering way.
Exactly.
I'm a trained therapist. I have multiple coaching certifications. I've been helping people heal since 2002. And I took, especially after cancer, I had to write a book, Grace, because I didn't
Oh,
know how long I
right?
had.
I know you can't get away from that. It's like the
Right?
healing and the awakening that we go through, no matter
I
what
couldn't.
age you are. It doesn't matter. You can be in your teens. You can be in, your 20s, 30s. It doesn't matter. The awakening is unbelievable.
Well, and I knew, okay, I've been teaching this for so many years. And when
Yeah.
I got diagnosed, I literally heard a voice say to me, all right, Rebeccah, it's easy to be the best of you when you have your dream come true life. But who are you going to be now? And so my
Right.
experience of cancer was just living what I had become and learned and practiced, but I hadn't packaged it yet. So I wanted to write a book for all of you because, again, no one is immune to trauma. And
No,
there's not any of you that don't want love, right? That's the one thing we want more than anything. Everybody lies
absolutely.
about what do you want to be when you grow up? The honest answer is loved, but nobody tells the truth about it, right? So I wrote a book so that you could use trauma to your advantage. It literally is a roadmap, whatever you're going through. I use my story to
Hmm.
connect you to your story.
Yes,
Every chapter has exercises so that you can design the healed you, like I was talking about a moment ago.
I
And
love
I
that.
didn't write Coming Back to Life and call it that because of all of the crazy I've been through. Every client I've had, over 1,000 success stories in my private practice, say, Rebeccah, I just came back to life. And they never even thought they weren't fully living. But emotional healing gives you yourself back, gives you your life back, and gives you access to getting 100% of the love you want. So we have Coming Back to Life. At theunsilentwoman.com, I have the Own Your Voice Society. It's a membership where I get to be your coach, costs practically nothing, and I give you the best I've got. I go live twice a month, and then you can also visit RebeccahSilence.com for information about working with me privately and my courses.
I love it. Love, love, love. So, what is a moment where you felt divinely inspired out of nowhere? Like, I call it MOB, moment of brightness, like,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think, when I sat down and put the emotional survival kit together. So I wrote Coming Back to Life, and it's 10 steps to take your life back. And almost simultaneously, I just sat down at the kitchen table one day and I started writing the emotional survival kit curriculum. And it's the practice of emotional healing. And it came out of nowhere. I'm like, wow, this is my process. This is my model. This is who I am and how I live. And we have a first aid kit for when there's a health issue. You got a first aid kit by the pool every time, right? You're swimming. There's a first aid kit nearby.
Yes.
We don't have a toolkit to navigate when our emotions feel too big or bigger than us, or when survival strikes and takes us over.
Yeah.
So I just, in a very short period of time, on a napkin, wrote out the emotional survival kit. And then it became a course, and it's incredible. And it really is 7 breakthroughs that I want everyone on the planet to experience. Breakthrough meaning life is never the same again. I broke through fight, flight, freeze in these 7 areas, and now I'm free. So you can get the emotional survival kit at RebeccahSilence.com. But that kind of came out of nowhere. Like, wow, okay, this is what I'm about. And when those moments strike, let it come. Let it come through you. Don't resist it. Just like when possibility knocks at your door and an opportunity that you've been praying for knocks at your door, don't question it. Run the
Right,
play.
right. Run with it. Yes, 100%. Um, do you ever, this is a random question, but I think it's fun. Do you ever laugh at your own bloopers?
Oh
And
my God.
tell us one. Tell us
All
one. Give us
the
the tea.
time. Oh my God. My husband and I laugh at ourselves and each other all the time.
Love
Just the
that.
other day, I was on a date with Mark and we're driving home, and I said to him, "Can we roll up the windows? I don't like the wind touching me without my permission."
What?
And he just lost it. Then I lost it. And I'm like, I can't believe I just said it, but it's true. So now he won't let me live it down. Honey, do you not want the wind touching you without your permission? But
Right.
I mean, I really, and I'm an incest survivor. I've been through it, not just the
Ooh,
cancer,
oh, that makes
right? And
sense.
so literally, and I just wasn't edited because I don't edit myself. I don't want the wind touching me without my permission, and I meant it. Like, I don't want to be touched without my permission. But we crack up. Why not? There's not a day that goes by,
Girl.
Grace, that I am not crying tears of joy and
Yes,
cracking up about
yes,
something.
yes, absolutely. And I think in my world, whenever I have a negative thought, which they're intrusive thoughts, talking about touching your mind without permission, those thoughts, right? They're not,
Amen. I'm
I
going to use
know.
that.
Go away. What are you
Yes.
doing? You're violating me. Uh, so I'm
Move,
like,
bitch. Get
no,
out the
yes,
way.
exactly. I curse them out like exorcism, right? I'm like, I see you, but I don't want you to get the out of here, right? And so, and then I'm like, okay, that thought wasn't mine. It has nothing to do with my life right now. And I am going to manifest exactly the opposite of what that thought told me, right? You can't do that. Oh, really? Okay, get the hell out. I can do that. How am I going to do it? So it's always like turning it, for me, it's turning it around and cursing the thought, or not the feelings though, but the thoughts, I curse them out. The feelings, I feel them, like the anxiety. And then I'm like, okay, why? What triggered it? Why am I anxious? How can I seek help? Because I feel like I can't do it on my own. And once I seek help, for me, it's like talking to somebody like you, who's a therapist, and you give me a different perspective and kind of like just breathe, everything is going to be okay kind of perspective. And so after that, what I did that, it was, I think, on Monday. And so the next day, the next day I had a meeting with someone who can help me in regards to what I was stressing about, right? What was triggering me. And I'll tell you after, when we're, yeah, I'll tell you, but I don't want to say it out loud in public. So anyway, so after that, girl, listen, I was stuck in, because I was so fearful. After I changed that fear into I will make it happen, because my body was like, you have to be aware that you are afraid, and it gave me an anxiety attack. And so I switched it, and now everything is falling into place so
You
quickly.
got through the power and control, fight, flight, freeze, like I was talking about,
Yes.
right? And let me simplify this, okay? Because everything you just said is so valid. But look at it like this, everybody. You have thoughts, they give you access to your feelings, right? So Grace had a thought, then anxiety is the feeling. Here's the real hack. What's the emotion underneath the feeling? You don't
Right.
actually need to waste your time worrying about what triggered me. I'm going to give you permission to
Ah,
stop spending your energy on that. Instead, just get to the emotion underneath it, because there's no good answer. It's like, why did Grace and I get cancer? There is no good
oh yeah, yeah,
answer,
that I get,
right? So
that's
why are you
random.
triggered? I don't care. What I care about is what's the emotion underneath the thought, underneath the feeling. There's an emotion: anger, fear,
Fear.
grief,
Yeah.
joy, excitement. So now I got to process the fear.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get to make a new commitment to myself. So
Yeah.
what you did was that process. And I just want to give people permission to not worry about why did it happen. I have coaching
Got it.
clients and they want to process why. I have a client right now, recently divorced. Husband now is like Disneyland dad, and the kids think he's great, and she's the bad guy, and she's
Oh,
pissed. And so she keeps trying to figure out, why is she triggered? And I'm saying, what if it isn't about him or the kids? And there's an emotion. For her, it's anger. She's never had a healthy relationship with anger. Anger is
ah,
never about anyone or at anyone.
yeah.
Anger is just passion, and it's healthy and it's natural. So I'm helping this client move through her anger
Mm-hmm.
so that she doesn't need the situation with the husband and the kids to change for her to be okay. I don't care why the trigger. It's the
Interesting.
access point to your truth and your joy and your liberation.
I love that point of view. I'm just the why girl since I was little. Like, mom, why? Whenever my mom heard the
We
word
all
why,
are, Grace. We're all trained. And most therapy, if you've ever been disappointed by therapy, we're spending way too long on the why and
yes,
way too long on how do I just manage and control this
yes,
situation versus I'm going to free myself. My definition of
yes,
healing is freedom. So
yes,
I'm just going to give you a little perspective here and some soul food.
yes.
Why? Terrible question, except for what you want to create. Get real clear on why that's important to you,
Love
so
it.
that when disillusionment strikes, power and control strikes, you have the strength to stay committed.
I love that. I love that. In my case, let me tell you, it was fear. And I knew it was fear, obviously. It was very clear it was fear. And once I started saying, I am safe, I am
Mm-hmm.
picturing the worst case scenarios in my mind, again, the intrusive thoughts. And so once I dealt with that and understood that those were intrusive thoughts, though based in reality, because it could happen. And once I dealt with the fear, you're right. And I switched it like I am safe because I felt unsafe. I am loved. I am safe. Those were the two things that I told myself
And
intuitively.
believed. You didn't just tell
Oh
yourself,
no, I
you
believed
believed
it.
it.
A hundred
Just
percent.
know affirmations aren't enough. If you don't
No,
believe
no, you
it,
have to
it isn't
believe
going
it
to do
here
anything.
and here. Yeah, 100%. And no, I agree completely. Mind and heart have to be in agreement and have to believe it for real. No, I learned that after my cancer thing. It's like, I
Yeah.
am perfectly healed. I said that every single day of my cancer healing journey. I
Mm-hmm.
am perfectly healed and I believed it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not just like maybe I'll get, no, no, no. I am right now in the quantum field. There's no past, present, or future, right? So right now, I am healed in this very moment. So no question
And
about it.
identifying as healing
Yeah,
is everything. Because
absolutely.
healing is always possible, right? I identified as healed, not as sick or dying. And I think you
Yes.
did the same thing. And even in a relationship breakdown, or even when joy seems more out of reach than you can even fathom, you
Mm-hmm.
can identify as the healed you. What would that you choose? And it's a choice to be the healed you. And
Mm-hmm.
that choice does way more for you than anything you think you're going to do,
A hundred
right?
percent. I never thought of myself. I'm a cancer patient. I was like, I'm on my cancer healing journey. So it wasn't, oh, I'm doing this. I'm doing, no, this is my cancer healing journey at this moment.
Yep.
So I always use the word healing, whatever
Yep.
I said, cancer healing journey. And I think that doesn't mean, that if you do that and if you have that mindset, you're going to live through it. But I think it does help you mentally, and possibly I think it can save your life, but it's not necessarily the thing that's going to save your life, but it's one of the things that you can aid your body and your soul to heal from that disease.
Yeah. Well, and I'm going to just say, I think emotional healing does save lives. I've coached
I do,
countless
I know, but I don't
cancer
want,
survivors, and I can't
yes,
promise anything,
I know
right?
that's my
But,
thing. It's like
but I,
I don't want people that have done this and
yeah.
they're dying from the disease, which happens because this disease
Well, and
is
that's nobody's fault, right? Whether they live or
exactly
die, we're out of control over that. But as long as
completely.
you have breath, you have the power to emotionally heal. And
Yes,
you have the power to not say yes to anything that's emotionally cancerous anymore.
yes.
And
Oh
you
my
can
gosh.
do an emotional cancer cleanse. What are you
Yes,
tolerating? Where are your obligations?
yeah,
What are you saying yes to, but you
yes,
really mean no? You have control
yes,
over these things. And then having a healthy relationship with anger, fear, grief, joy, and
yes,
excitement, it
yes,
sets you free. And the
absolutely.
healed you can actually listen to when you're not all clogged up and emotionally funky. So I just can't say enough about the power of emotional healing
Yeah,
when
right.
everything else feels out of control. And talk about chaos,
Yes,
emotional healing in the face of chaos, because then joy gets to be the rule you live by, not the
I know.
exception.
Absolutely. And it sticks.
And it sticks. And you're going to be human and you're going to have to go back and get clear again.
Girl, like the anxiety attack I
It's
had,
not,
it was just, it had to happen. It was
yes.
an alarm system. My body and soul were like, girl, you got to deal with this. You got to deal with this. We're
And you
afraid.
didn't ignore it. And it'll
No, I
start
don't
as a
ignore it
whisper.
ever. Yeah.
And if you don't deal with it, it gets louder. And
Oh,
then it
it's
gets
worse.
louder.
Absolutely. Oh, 100%, 150%. All right. So let's go to segment number 4, wisdom nuggets, finding its a strength in the unexpected. Um, so what's one belief that you had to completely unlearn in order to grow?
Oh, I know exactly what it was.
Tell me.
I believed achievement mattered more than anything.
Ooh,
I was all about achievement. I had a radio show in New York, which I still have 15 years later, a 7 day a week, 10 client a day business model. And I was killing myself.
yes,
I love all of the clients I've had, all of the success stories. I was so honored to serve my community,
yes,
but I believed achievement would give me value
yeah,
and
yeah.
was the appropriate success metric to
Mm-hmm,
prove I had beat my insane past and I was on the other side. And
mm-hmm,
when cancer happened, I realized real quick it
mm-hmm.
isn't about trying to fit in,
Not at
it's
all.
about creating a life that fits in with me in
Yes.
alignment. And the opposite of survival is
Mm-hmm.
alignment with your soul. And it sounds good in theory and we talk about it, right? But here's what I mean by alignment. You
Yes.
truly do know yourself, love yourself, trust yourself, you're safe with you, and you have access to hear your own voice. So many of us are not listening to our voice. We're listening to the white noise, to everybody else's opinion, to everybody else's demands on us. I want you to
Yes.
have the courage to go, I got to stop,
Yes.
pause, and breathe and hear me right now. I
Exactly.
literally have
Yeah.
said that to people. So the belief went from achievement is the most important thing
Yep.
to alignment is the only thing that matters.
I love that. And alignment with our purpose too.
Absolutely. And to me,
Hmm.
if you're like, oh my God, Grace, purpose, that sounds so overwhelming. I think our only purpose really is love.
Love and help each other.
Love and following love and being love,
Yeah.
right? Doing no harm and create something amazing for yourself there. But yeah, and I think, Grace, I believe you're on divine assignment. I believe I'm on divine
A hundred
assignment.
percent.
There's
Yeah, we're
no
both.
reason I'm here
Yep.
other than I
Yep.
have a divine assignment.
Yes. And an interesting, this is a sidebar, but some people say that we choose our purpose and what we come here to do and our challenges before we come here, which is very interesting because we're eternal beings, right? So our soul came from somewhere, and I believe it came from somewhere and it's going back there. And this is just a little experiment or a little, and actually, if you're a Christian, there's a Bible verse that says in Jeremiah, I knew you before I formed you in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
What does that tell you? You
Mm-hmm.
existed before you were in the physical realm.
Mm-hmm. Stephen Furtick has a book out called Do the New You, which is all about like knowing the you that God knows you to be, which I think is
Yeah.
such a beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful message. I just got chills. Yeah, yeah. And I love it.
Yes. Yes. I'm not like, I don't subscribe to any religion. I study like different spiritual books, and, but they all kind of say the same thing, to be honest.
Well, right. And the point is, we have this healed divine version of ourselves. Can we
Yes.
let that you be in charge of the mission called your life, please, instead of your survival self?
Right. Right. Which is
Because
being
we all
drugged.
have both. We're all bipolar, and I'm a trained therapist, trained to diagnose you, and I won't. But I will tell you, we're all bipolar. There's survival you, there's healed you. And when you're
Yeah.
regulated, you look like one version of you, and when you're
Yeah.
not, you look like another version of you. And
Yes.
we want the healed you, the rule. Joy, the rule, not the exception.
100%. Yes. And joy is such an important thing. I've always been like a person who likes to have fun, but after cancer, it wasn't just fun, it was joy, pure joy, which actually
Yeah.
meant a whole different thing from what having fun was before my cancer journey, healing journey, excuse
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Because the fun can be like quick dopamine hits,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
instant
yeah.
gratification. Like, oh, the external just provided me this internal experience of joy. That joy has the spiritual nutritional value of Cheetos, right? Like, we want you to be
Yeah.
able to be joyful
Yeah.
because internally that is your resting place.
100%.
That's
We
the
want,
baseline,
yeah, 100%.
regardless of external.
Yeah. I love that. So we have a few minutes because I know you gotta go. So let's actually move on to segment 5. So I call this one the heart moments, gratitude, love, and simplicity. Um, how do you practice gratitude when it feels like the world is falling apart, i.e., now?
Yeah, which absolutely happens. I mean, I'm not immune to
Yeah,
things going sideways or badly, right?
yeah.
I start with willingness. So
With what?
I start with willingness.
Oh, willingness.
I
Okay.
don't try to be grateful. Like I'm not that positive. I am very
I love that.
good, right, at
Yeah,
possibility. Like I know there's possibility I can access beyond the possibility I'm
yeah.
experiencing right now, right? And what the practice of emotional healing is about is you knowing you get to choose who you're going to be, how you feel, and the
Mhm.
experience you want to create. So I am incredibly grateful. I was just talking to my mom yesterday. I went for a walk and my mom called and she made a comment. She's like, honey, I know you have to talk about what was really bad, but I just hope you know that there were good moments too. And I was like, Mom, I absolutely know that. And I just want people to know there's possibility and love and hope in the face of anything. And I ended up having this really beautiful, beautiful conversation with my mom. This was just yesterday
Mhm.
about willingness is not needing anything to be different than it was or it is for you to be okay. And I said to my mom, I wouldn't trade any of it. I
Right.
really wouldn't because I was born with a divine assignment and needed to become this me. And it isn't like me trying to BS myself. Like, I mean it. I wouldn't change any of it. And
Same.
it was
Yep.
profound to be able to have
Yep.
this moment with my mom and
Yes.
to mean it. And so I start with willingness, Grace. I'm willing for it to be exactly what it is right now. Byron Katie has an amazing quote: when you argue with reality, you lose, but only 100% of the time.
Right.
And I've taken that and run with it. Right? I can't argue. I walk around every day with a brain tumor. I don't talk about this much. It's not cancerous, but I have a brain tumor. We have to monitor it. I had 2 surgeries again because cancer spots showed up again last summer. I'm always under the microscope. I
Yeah.
never know how much time I have. None of us
None
know
of
how
us
much time
do.
we
But
have,
cancer,
right?
you know what? Cancer gives you that, oh shit.
I'm going to make the best of this moment,
Yeah,
and I'm going to be the best me in this moment. And I'm
totally.
willing to face, move through, and conquer whatever's here. And what I'm grateful for is my ability to do that and
I
to
love
find beauty in any situation
that.
and miracles in any situation.
100% agree with you. Uh, so what's one tiny simple moment that made your day recently?
This morning, I went into my husband's office quick to just tell him about a call I had just had and find out about a meeting he had. We're both entrepreneurs and we both work from home. And he was telling me about how chaotic it is with this one company he's consulting for. And he had a singing bowl in his office. And I said, honey, it's your job to like be the healed, masculine, grounded energy. And I get out the singing bowl. And he's like, no, let me. And we just had this moment where he's playing his singing bowl and we're laughing. And it was so beautiful. That was just today. And moments like this happen every day for me. And I
Yeah,
want that for you too. But I loved it. If you meet my husband, he does not look like a crystal guy. At night in bed, he puts crystals on his chakras.
no,
And he,
stop it.
and you
See,
would
I
never
want a
guess.
man like that. That's evolved,
Grace, stick
healed.
with me.
I know. I can't. I just
I will
don't.
help
That
you find your right partner
definitely.
if you'll
I
let me.
don't. I don't date anymore, and I'm celibate not because like I I do want to because it's just I feel like I'm wasting my time sometimes with people that are not healed. There's so many unhealed
I got
humans.
you. If and
Okay,
when you're
okay. We'll
ready.
talk after, like real quick, because I have to tell
Yes.
you about my plans and everything. So
Yes. Okay.
we'll talk, girl. All right. So let's it's we have like a couple of minutes. So Rebecca, you are really proof that joy is not just possible, but powerful. And oh my God, contagious. It truly is.
It
It
is.
really is. And you've shown us that in the midst of trauma, healing can blossom. And in the middle of chaos, clarity can sing a nice song with Whitney Houston or Mariah Carey's voice, not J-Lo.
And the
Anyway,
world needs you healed so you can
yes,
make your difference. Don't be afraid of the healing process. It won't make anything worse.
absolutely.
You
And
got it. You got
yes,
this.
even in the most unpredictable and tough moments, we can dance and have fun. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, we're
Yeah.
proof of that. And to
Yeah.
our beautiful listeners, I hope today reminded you that joy isn't something that we wait for. It's something that we choose every minute of our lives, even when it feels like life forgot the script, right? Look for the unexpected today because that's often where the magic hides. And leave a comment and tell us about a time you found joy in the unexpected. Let's light up the comment section, guys, with stories that heal and uplift. And don't forget to subscribe, share, and spread the love. Until next time, stay curious, stay joyful, and remember, healing is possible. Bye for now, Grace Nation. I love you
Bye,
guys. Thank you
everyone.
for tuning in. And thank you so much, Rebecca, for being here.
Thank you. And be careful.